NeNe called me thirsty on Twitter. When? I'm not the one begging Bravo to get back on. So there's that. I have jobs. Where's she work?
Here I am. Here we are. Yes, another week.
Oh my god, my camera is blurry. Please hold. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? You saw my tape. Wait a minute now. Yeah, we live, bitches. I don't know what is happening with my camera. While she looking a little blurration situation. But peace. Hopefully y'all can see me. So, oh, much better. She better now. She better. She looking good. She feeling gorgeous. How you doing? Anyway. I had to check that really quick. I don't know what happened, but you know, situations happen in these little occurrences and things of that nature. But anyway, how you doing? My name is Chris Avalon. Welcome to a brand new episode of On the Line. We got a lot to talk about today. So I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. But first, before we get into these topics, I just want to say, please click, like, subscribe, follow, do all that stuff. And you know, whenever I got some new tea coming out, y'all can follow me and all that good stuff. How y'all been? I missed y'all. It's another week. More tea, more shade, a whole lot of shit going on. I'm like, the porn stars out here fighting. One porn star got shot at by another porn star. I was following that tea all over Twitter. Yeah, that was a mess. I was so that way. If y'all see Nico Aesthetics, bitch, he done spilled all of that tea. But a friend of mine had told me about it before, and I was following on social media. But he put it in perspective. I ain't gonna do that on here. Like I do talk the porn star stuff. But if y'all get a chance after this, definitely check his episode out. He broke it down. Then I saw there was another thing where some porn star was fighting with another porn star because they had just met and he needed a place to stay, I guess. And they were only together for like 7 days, and he found out that he didn't disclose his HIV status. Child, the gays are a mess out here in these streets. These OnlyFans models, what is going on? I'm gonna just stick with just for fans, child, because you OnlyFans models, y'all be doing much. But yeah, so you know, we got a lot of tea talk, especially this couple right here. Wait, right here. Britney and Sam. Mama's pregnant. Congratulations to her. You know, Rihanna right now is in Barbados. ASAP Rocky, you know, they had that whole tea that came out about them. The rumors saying that there was an affair going on, that he had slept with somebody that's part of the Fenty, you know, empire. They said that was a lie. And I said that was a lie before. So we got that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Karamo. NeNe Leakes is in the news being messy boots and playing the victim at the same time. So I got my tea to spill about her. A lot of people out here getting talk shows. So we're going to talk about that. A lot of black gays getting talk shows. So I guess this is 2022, the year of the gays. The gays, nobody looked at as like, why y'all getting a show? But we're going to talk about them. People I never expect to get a talk show, apparently getting talk shows. So we're going to give that. We're going to talk about Tyra out here being messy. We got a former co-host of Dance with the Stars throwing shade at Miss Tyra Banks. So we got all that tea and a whole lot more. But first, I think we're going to break this up into segments because there's a lot of tea to spill. there's a lot of talk show news that's coming out. So we're going to just do a whole segment of like what's going on in the talk show world and reality TV, and then we'll probably take a little break, and then we'll, break it on down. But yeah, so let's get right into some things. So first things first. Now, that's about all the cancellations. So we already know about what was the other show? Okay, so Wendy Williams' show is pretty much done, but we got some tea on her because she's apparently talking about she's ready for her comeback. The Real just announced that they were canceled, so we're gonna get into that right about now. There's a lot of shows. Big Cannon show was gone. Ellen's done, but they're giving people. I mean, the Jennifer Hudson's about to get a show. I don't know. When her show come on, I'll check it out, but I'm not feeling it. I just don't see Jennifer Hudson where there's a personality and they thought enough that, okay, let's give her a talk show. But when it comes on, I will look at it, I'll check it out, and then I'll take it from there. So after 8 seasons of the air, Warner Brothers and Telepictures, who produce and distribute the daytime talk show, have canceled The Real, and this is coming from Variety. Now, I should state, it's funny how Variety is reporting it, but let's give our flowers to the Jasmine brand because they broke the news before everybody else. And Lonnie Love, her thick neck ass, decided to go up in the comments over at the Jasmine brand and was talking about, oh, maybe one of your sources or whatever is a hate. And somebody, I'm paraphrasing, that they're pretty much a hater. They got their information wrong. They're competing with someone else and they're just putting it out there. Then she said that she asked the people over at The Real, and they pretty much said, well, no decisions have been made yet. Code for y'all bitches is done. Y'all about to be unemployed. Y'all better start judging up your resumes and looking for another job because y'all about to be, y'all not giving what needs to be gave. And the show's about to be a wrap. I mean, the original creator of the show, Sally Ansosano, left the show a couple of seasons ago. And they said like it had to do with COVID and them shooting without an audience. The View been shooting without an audience. They still going strong. They don't need an audience. It's just the fact that a lot of people just don't have that thing when they do a show, apparently. I know people like Tamara. I don't particularly care for her based on her and that husband she was married to. And, I think she didn't even know whether or not she was black. Tamar, they was always trying to say, oh, Tamar, blah, blah, blah. Tamar ain't been with the show since like the second or third season. So y'all can't throw it off on her. They try to bring serious topics to The Real through Amanda Seals. It seemed like y'all didn't want that. So Amanda left after like one season because y'all wasn't ready to dive into real topics. And for me, I check in on the Real every now and again when they talked about when there were certain topics that I would be on YouTube and I would see like certain things trending, and it would just like little segments of their show because they never put a whole episode up. There's always like segments of the topics. So I would sit and I would watch, and this damn sun, I got my ring light on, so it's like this sun is sending me right now. But anyway, please hold. So okay. So then depending on certain topics, I was like, oh, let me see what they got to say about it. And every time they would open their mouth, they just sounded dumb as a box of damn rocks. So I'm sitting there like, what are y'all talking about? Particularly when they were giving their opinions on the whole Will Smith slap situation that happened. And y'all were they all seemed to me be very pro Will Smith. And then all you had Adrian think, because every time Adrian on TV, the bitch thinks she in church. Yes, exactly. Yes, Lord. Like she just be giving me, why you always act like you were in the front pew of the goddamn church with a fan and your big ass fascinator on your head, and you about to get up and start doing the Holy Ghost dance. Like she always gives me that, but don't never have a real opinion about nothing. So that bitch irritates me. Garcelle, of course, is going to be Team Jada then because she's best friends with Cherie, who was about to be on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So we already knew she was going to be biased in that part. So, and then Lani is whatever. Every time I look at her, she makes me skin crawl. She irritates the fuck out of me. And then Jeannie, she was on maternity leave, I think. So, or maybe she was there. I don't remember. I can't keep track of these bitches. But anyway, so the Real's leaving. And in my opinion, yes, it would be great to get like a show where you get a point of view from women of color, not just a bunch of white women on stage. So you getting that flavor and that understanding of that would be great. But when y'all are tied up into a major network, y'all can't really say what y'all want to be saying because y'all got to worry about advertisements and guidelines and all that other crap. So with them leaving, it's like, okay. And quiet as it's kept, I've been saying this before. The old guard of how daytime is not the same anymore. People are really giving what needs to be gave on social media. Like when you're creating your TikTok videos or your YouTube show, like stuff like my show and so many other personalities that are on YouTube and on other forms of social media. We're out here just saying what needs to be said and don't have to worry about because we're independent. So we don't have to worry about certain guidelines that other people have to worry about. Yeah, there's certain guidelines you got to worry about, but you can't say certain things on YouTube. But for the most part, when you're given a real unfiltered opinion about things that's going on in the world, be it entertainment news, politics, whatever the case is, network TV tries to have control over how you can say certain things or what certain things you can say. So if you say something like if you make a comment about what people thought, like for example, let's use Whoopi Goldberg, who's off in Ireland, by the way, shooting a movie where people was, and I read them comments that were trying to be shady towards this Whoopi. Oh yeah, they need to fire her, blah 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 blah, because she's out there. She's an actress. She's an actress. I don't know if y'all knew that, but yes, before she was on The View, Whoopi was an actor and a comedian, blah blah blah, so all that good stuff. So she had to. So while she's over there, and then remember she made the comment about the Jews and all that other stuff. People got upset by it, and even though we felt like, okay, what she said wasn't that bad, because what Whoopi said, a lot of people felt in their heart of hearts that being Jewish, like the whole Jewish thing, that whole thing about, we thought it was just a religious thing. We didn't know it was like all these other things that we were further educated on because we didn't know this, which I always say, have the conversation instead of trying to cancel people. It's like let's have a moment and let's have an understanding. So I lost my train of thought because like, what am I going on about this? I'm going on a whole tangent. But anyway, bring it on back. So if you can't really give your opinion about something, you have to have this fear of, oh, I'm going to get suspended or whatever the case is. So, these girls seem like they were walking on eggshells when it came to certain topics. So it's 8 years a good run, especially when you got women of color on a talk show, on a panel show. That's a long time on a daytime show. So good luck to you girls. I'm sure y'all all find something to do after everything. But Lonnie did say that cast of crew did everything they could, scale the show down, shot 7 to 8 shows in 3 days, no audience, made a conference room into a studio, which is funny because how do you do 7 to 8 shows in 3 days? I think that's another thing too. So when you're talking about stuff like when you watch The View, it's always live, so they can always converse about what's happening in real time. Whereas we shoot 7 to 8 shows. This is not like Family Feud or one of those games. Like, I get if you got to do that when you shoot Wheel of Fortune and all the other stuff. How they be shooting 7 to 8 episodes in 2 days, and you get the rest of the week off. You get paid millions of dollars. But you doing that in the talk show format, that don't work for me. So now on from being canceled to someone getting their own show. Carlos King, who you may know has been a legendary producer, he produced many of the earlier seasons of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. He also was the creator and executive producer of Owns Love and Marriage. He's getting his own late night series on OWN. But he about to get his own daytime and late night talk show. Now they said the Discovery backed broadcaster is moving into the genre with the Nightcap with Carlos King. And now they're saying the series is in the same vein as Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen will premiere on May 14th at 10 p.m. after the launch of Love and Marriage DC, the network's first ever franchise spinoff. So they said that in the Nightcap, King will welcome guests from OWN's most popular shows to let their hair down and break down the juiciest storyline. The half-hour series will also feature surprise guests from Carlos' Little Black Book of Celebrity Friends, who will dish up pop culture headlines and participate in fun games and revealing challenges. So basically, like we said, it's basically, and I said this before, and I don't give a fuck, y'all get mad or whatever, but clearly, Carlos King is a black Andy Cohen in more ways than one. And I said what the fuck I said. So, you're literally getting, so owners literally trying to turn into Bravo with their content, and they need their version of Andy Cohen, so they're about to put Carlos over there. And then y'all got a bunch of reality shows, and then you want him to host. Okay, that's cute, but the question remains, does Carlos have the range to be entertaining enough as a personality? I don't see it. Just like I don't see it for Andy Cohen, I don't see it for Carlos King. But if y'all like it, I love it. Y'all can continue to go over there and watch whatever y'all watch on own. I don't watch that network. I don't care for that network. Type of branding and shows or whatever. It's just not my zhuzh. So congratulations, I guess. Moving right along. Thinking of another show that I don't know how the hell this happened. I must be living in that world of everywhere, everyone everywhere all at once. Like I'm just in a parallel goddamn universe. I'm glad you knew exactly who I was getting to. Because we talking about Karamo Brown. So he's got a new nationally syndicated daytime talk show that's about to be hosted by Queer Eye star Karamo Brown. And they said it's been sold in 90% of the US for a fall 2022 debut. The Daily 1 Hour Talk Show from NBC, shout out to Deadline for this, from NBC Universal Syndication Studios and Stanford Media Center Productions will air in stations in top markets across the country, including Pix, New York, so it's going to be on Channel 11 in New York, but as far as everywhere else, we had KTLA Los Angeles. Ooh. Allegedly. Child, ain't a leg. I mean, it actually is. So,
what I said.
So KTLA Los Angeles, WCIU Chicago, WPHL Philadelphia. You know what? I'm not gonna read all these. Check your local listing. But for us, if y'all want to watch it over in good old New York, you can watch it on Pix 11. So he'll be over there talking about whatever he's gonna be talking about. I am curious. Let me see. Does it say what kind of talk show it's gonna be? So it says Corona's edition of full syndicated lineup follows the end of NBCU's Judge Jerry, which will wrap in September at the end of its third season, and Maury, which is in its season after 3 decades. It was expected that Karamo would fill the void left by Maury, on which Brown was a frequent guest host. So Karamo was apparently guest hosting the Maury show. So he was over here giving out paternity tests. I don't know, because I don't watch more. I haven't watched more in years. When I say years, I mean decades. So I used to watch it when I was younger. So it says Karamo has done an incredible job guest hosting more many times over the past 2 seasons. Karamo is a true fan of the genre who will bring that passion, along with his unique skill set and life experiences that guide his guests through life's dramatic crossroads and build a lasting connection with the daytime audience. And this is what the executive vice president of NBC Universal Syndication Studios at News says. Her name is Tracy Wilson. Karamo is the next generation of compelling relationship-based talk with a truly special host. We are so relationship-based talk. He wasn't engaged to that white man. Remember back in the day, he said he didn't like white people. When he was on what's that show, The Real World. And all of a sudden, he was engaged to a white man. Then he wasn't engaged. And he started hooking up with another white man. So okay, if anybody knows our relationships, it'll be Karamo, and I guess I'll be watching. So it will be filmed in front of a live studio audience and will address a wide range of topics, including infidelity, race, parenting, and complex family dynamics. Yeah, okay. Now the question remains: is there still an audience for that type of talk? I don't know. Like to me, it just feels like the daytime field seems to be sporadic all over the place. I don't know. I just don't know what like. For those of you out there who watch daytime television, because I don't know, I'm working, so I don't have time, and I don't be watching. What does the feel look like? All I know is from in my own head, it was always the Maury stuff, the judge shows, the 3 soap operas they got left, a couple of game shows, and did I say judge shows? And then also like you had you have your celebrity driven daytime talk. So you have that. But to me, it's just daytime was a little too Disney-fied, a little too boring, a little too safe. I don't know. Well, I guess if they feel like there is an audience for someone like a Karamo to kind of take over the mantle that Maury Povich, who was pretty much what, pushing 80 and still doing brash talk show type of stuff. Maybe there is an audience for someone like a Karamo Brown to kind of take that mantle. Only time will tell when it debuts in September and those ratings. So, oh, and another thing. Speaking of gays, because this is the second gay I've talked about. Yeah, she does. Cameron Hall does border on Oprah style type of talk. But I think people gravitate towards Cameron because you kind of believe her when she talks. Like she like when I look at Tamara, it's like okay, like you got me. Like I believe we here. Like with Karamo, is something about him. Like I don't trust her. I don't. She's too messy for me, and a little too. I get phony from him. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, people. Like, 'cause I know. Look, there's one friend of mine that was talking about the whole Karamo situation. He said, "I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. I ain't gonna be negative. I'm gonna keep it." That's something nice. Learn something nice to say. Come to me. Well, there ain't no say. Don't say nothing at all. I want to hear it because I don't want to understand. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's hard for me to pinpoint what it is. He just seems a little snakish. There's something fake and phony about him. I can't put my hands on it. But I feel, and there's been this. I'm trying to remember because I know I've covered it before. It might have to do with, and correct me if I'm wrong, production. But then he had to kind of come out and make some anti-sex comments when it came to Pride. Um, I've been having audio and visual issues. Oh yeah, and then the defending of Sean Spicer when they were both on Dance with the Stars, that was another strike. But and we're gonna talk about Dance with the Stars a bit. But I do believe there was also a situation where they were talking about gay pride parades, and he made a comment about people who were showing up at Pride and like jock straps and being naked and that sort of thing. And I want to give a shout out to a friend of mine, Christian Gabriel, who y'all may know on OnlyFans in the adult film world as Chris Callie. He wrote an interesting article on Out.com. Definitely not already yesterday. And he was talking about, I can't remember exactly the title of it, but it's up there. You'll see it. But he was basically talking very sensitive about um about the pride, I mean, about pride parades and how you have these Republican types who are coming in and saying like, oh well, sex is not supposed to be at no pride. It's for the kids and all this other stuff. And if you have the education, um, pride was never about you know balloons and floats. And it's basically it's called because I had to look it up. So it's the story is called No Pink and Pride. This course leaves out about LGBT history. And what basically was just saying about that whole situation was that how people basically the article basically echoes eerily suspicious of the rights concerning discourse about children. When they say things like family friendly and how they're weaponizing it in a response to and sexual predation. Meaning, like there will be times when we've seen photos online of little kids who would be petting gay men who have a long masks on and that sort of thing. And it's not acrobatic. You're petting. Well, house or whatever. So, um, so it was kind of like that, and people need to understand that when Pride started out as a protest, it is not this Disney bullshit that y'all all see it as now, where we got Wells Fargo and we got Disney and all these other people sponsoring the parades. It was an act of protest because the LGBTQ community were not put in a position where they could be their authentic selves. So this came out as a frustration and a celebration of us being who we are. So that's what Pride started out as. Not when they people come out, but how y'all being naked and gay men walking around in jock straps and just because clearly you was a man who wasn't comfortable in your own damn sexuality. So I'm not gonna listen to somebody who just came to talk. That's like y'all giving Colton Underwood a goddamn talk show at this point. I mean, it might be a little bit of a reach, but at this point, y'all giving Karamo a talk show is like giving Colton the Underwood a talk show. I don't trust now one of them bitches, and I won't be watching. So, yeah, so definitely, if y'all get a chance, definitely read that article. The No Kink and Pride. It's on out.com. It's written by, when they talk about family values and the true essence of pride, that sort of thing. So look, that's what I love about my adult film stars. Not all of them just go up there and just punch a hole in your damn booty hole with they dick. A lot of them are pretty smart too. They are. There's some intelligence behind that penis and that ass. But anyway, let's move on. So now our next talk show situation, let's talk about Miss Wendy Williams. So she's out here in these streets, the New York streets, so much she's ready to get back to work. So according to page 6, Wendy Williams was overheard telling Pal she's ready to make a big comeback to TV out in the Big Apple on Wednesday night. She's also planning to access her frozen accounts of Wells Fargo soon. Sources who've been in touch with the talk show have told page 6. Now, Spider Williams, who's 57, chatting about the situation over dinner with financial expert and TV personality Burke Shemtov. Can I just say how fine that man is? At Fresno by Scotto. So you know that's Rosanna Scotto's restaurant, and Wendy's always eating up in there. And so Wendy was talking to Burke about her situation with Wells Fargo, and she confidently said that I'm getting my money back very soon. We're told that Williams dined with Shemtov, her niece Annie, Alex Finney, and Finney's boyfriend Eric Houston. The interview's co-owner, Good Day New York anchor Rosanna Scotto, greeted Wendy warmly, and people were excited to see her out here. So she's basically saying she's ready to get back to work. I did see some photos of Wendy out and about. Oh yeah, everybody. I've been having mic issues all day. If anything, I'm gonna have to plug in this big old microphone. Do I sound better, Henny? Because if it goes out, I may have to plug in this other one. I don't know what's happening today. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna plug in the other mic. Give me a second. This one is getting my mic. Okay, do I sound better? Do I sound better? Can you hear me now? Because I had to get the big microphone and put that on. So I guess I do sound better. Okay, so let's get back into some things. What was I talking about? Oh, we were talking about Wendy Williams. So I did see some photos of her out with her niece Alex. You know, Wendy loves a fur coat. I don't know if it's real or not, but it looked real-ish. But she looked good. She looked like she was a good spirit. They showed a picture of her getting in and out of an SUV. She didn't need no help. She's been walking, so you know what? She's come a long way physically. So it's good to see that she, you know, she's out and about. You know, she looks great. Now as far as that comeback, here for comeback. Look, I've said it a million times that. Thank you, dear. I've said a million times that
I said what
I
I
want
said.
to see Wendy come back. I want to see her win, probably on a podcast. Now she's talking about now as far as is she coming back to do the show over at with Deborah Mercury and over at Fox at 10 o'clock in the morning? That ship has sailed. I think that show is done. They're not renewing the contract. So if that's what she's thinking, like in her head, that's what's gonna happen, ma'am, somebody needs to tell her the truth. But the truth is the show is done. It ain't happening. The Wendy Williams show was null and void. So she can always come back and do a podcast. I would love to see Wendy Williams do a podcast. Get, you know, some cameras in the room Get her. Don't even like do it like all these other ones where they got a little table and a bunch of mics around and is literally looking like the Breakfast Club or or like what's his name, or like Joe Budden's podcast, whatever the case was. Get judge it up, make it look cute or whatever. Like a couple of put some leopard print, some pink, in her room, all girly. Have her do spill her hot topics, unfiltered, and have some celebrity guests come on and really give us the old Wendy Williams that we grew up loving, like me from her old radio days. That's the Wendy I want to see. I would love to see her in podcast form. And then, y'all can also film it. She doesn't need to come back to daytime TV. I feel like Deborah Mercury has moved on. They've been trying to get rid of her for years with trying to give so many people talk shows in her slot. And this is not just recent. This has been for years they've been trying to do that. But they were trying to slide everybody up in there, from Jerry O'Connell, so many other people. And it didn't work out. Sherry Shepherd, you don't have anything to worry about in regards of your slot being taken, because I cannot with this photo. But anyway, look, I don't make the news. I just report it, boo. Just like you was out here creating narratives for yourself with the paparazzi. Look, and I also think she called the paparazzi on her damn self for them to see like, oh, she's back in New York and she was going to go to Rosanna Scotto's restaurant and people were overhearing her. I'm ready to get back to work. I'm sure she said it loud enough to have people up there hear it and report it back to Page 6. So, girl, we know how Wendy rolls. Wendy is media. Wendy is a part of media. Wendy knows how to manipulate the media because she is of the ilk of which we work. So, I'm on to you, sis. But is she ready? Are we ready for her to make that comeback? Yes. I'm hoping like by the end of the year we can see something from Wendy in the works. Be it, some TV projects or, a new talk show or some other form. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, let's move on to my girl Britney. So Miss Britney Spears is pregnant. Oh yeah, I'm sorry I didn't read Lanier's comment earlier. He said, "No, you're not wrong at all about Karamo." When I saw that headline of him getting a talk show, I was like, "WTF?" Did I also mention that Don Lemon's getting a talk show too? I think I meant to bring that up as well. Don Lemon's getting a talk. I said all the gays is getting a damn talk show. So we got Carlos King with a talk show. I don't know why. We got Karamo getting a talk show. I don't know why. And now we got Don Lemon getting a talk show. I get it, but I don't know why either. So now y'all just give all the black queens a damn talk show. Where the fuck is mine? Do I sound like a hater? I said, ooh, damn, I kind of sound like a hater right there. But I'm not. I just don't see it for them. I mean, Don I get because it's going to be on CNN+.
How dare you? Who are you?
No, wait, no. Sorry.
This show was a mess today. I'm just like everywhere and stuff. But that's why y'all love it. Y'all love that this show is just unedited, unfiltered, uncut, all those things. I do everything within the moment. But anyway, so shout out to my girl Britney Spears. Well, you know what? I really need y'all to stop always throwing her age and some shit. We know she's 40. But how old is Sam? Because it's funny how y'all don't tell us how old Sam Asghari is. But y'all quick to put up that Britney's 40. But anyway, so on Monday via her Instagram, she and her partner, Sam Asghari, are expecting their first child together. So this will be her third. She said, I lost so much weight to go on my Maui trip only to gain it back. This is what she shared with her 40 million followers, referencing the couple's recent Hawaiian getaway. I thought, geez, what happened to my stomach? My husband said, no, you're food pregnant, silly. So I got a pregnancy test and, well, I'm having a baby. So you know what? I'm happy for her. She's always wanted this baby. I know Sam confirmed it on his social media. He also said that this would have happened 3 years ago. That they were trying to have a baby 3 years ago. But, we already know why that didn't happen. Because of circumstances with Jamie and the whole conservatorship and all that stuff. So, Britney being pregnant, she says, I think I also heard something or another that I think she said possibly in 10 years she's gonna give us she'll come back to music. Sweetie, you'll be 50 by then. But the question remains, would they want to hear some dance music or pop music, whatever, from Britney at 50. Why not? We got a dance album from Madonna at 50. I'm not saying Confessions on the Dance Floor. The Confessions on the Dance Floor, I think, came out when Madonna was like pushing, she was almost 50. But when she did the MDNA album and all that stuff, she was, I think, 50 years old. And that album she did with Pharrell and all them, she was in her 50s when she did that. So if Madonna can give us dance and hip hop and all that other shit at 50, I'm sure Britney could do it too. So I don't know. I'm happy for her. I'm glad. You know what? I don't know. A lot of people are saying, "Man, we're not gonna get any more music." At this point, who cares? We got all the classic hits from her. But this is, now that she's out of this conservatorship, she's able to finally live her life. And I feel like with this baby, who I think she hinted might be a girl, so this will be her first daughter if the rumors are true, based on what she hinted over on her Instagram. Only time will tell whether or not, if she even wants to make a comeback. She doesn't have to. She could do a greatest hits tour, whatever the case is, and then just give us a couple of like an EP or some other songs, whatever. That's a good looking man, though. I bet great. Britney loves dick. Shout out to her. I love a girl who no shame in admitting she loves sex, and she said that for years. I think ever since she got with, I think she had sex before Justin, but she had to play that whole virgin thing, the media and MTV and all that other crap. But the minute she got, a lot of them girls and some of you dudes, first when y'all get that first whiff of dick, a lot of y'all don't know it yourselves. Not judging, just saying. But so shout out to Miss Mamas, and this is, I feel like with this baby, this is her opportunity to finally live the life that she's always wanted, because she couldn't really get to, I think, enjoy being a mother and an adult, all those other things, to make the mistakes and all those other things she was able to do when she had when she had Sean Preston and Jaden James. When she had the first two kids with Kevin Federline, she didn't get to be, I feel like, that mother that she wanted to be. Now that she is a free woman, it's a Lady Gaga song. Now that she be a free woman, she can actually raise this baby the way she wants to, without the scrutiny of the public and family members and conservatorships hovering over her as she's raising her daughter. Allegedly, the daughter part. But so congratulations to you, girl. So now let's talk about Drag Race. So All Stars. I got an alert. It's funny. Who was it? Oh, so I was at work, minding my business like I usually do, but of course I did sneak on my phone a little bit. So Remy has sent me a message, from Drinks and Drag. They're about to announce the season 7 All Stars. I said, it's probably the same damn list we revealed a couple of weeks ago on Drinks and Drag. And lo and behold, it was. So we're going to get into that as we pull those photos up and stuff. But yeah, so he sent me a message, and then my friend David Laugh, who just showed me he did some photos recently with Bobby Lights, shout out to him, and Megan Thee Stallion, shout out to her. He kind of jokes like Megan Thee Stallion says hello. I said, oh, you tried to do it. I said, really? He's like, no. I said, oh, you bitch. But anyway, so he's doing his thing out in LA. But nevertheless, so when I looked at I wasn't able to, I was like, I bet you it's the girls that we pretty much already knew, that I revealed on. I wrote on Tribe an article about it, and we talked about it on Drinks and Drag. But so turns out it is the list. So the long rumored, highly anticipated All Winners season of Drag Race is finally happening. For season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars, premiering May 20th on Paramount Plus. With 2 all-new episodes, 8 former winners will compete in the ultimate competition to be crowned Queen of All Queens, along with a $200,000 prize. Now, this is a bump in the cointadas, because, if I'm not mistaken, I think for this Drag Race that's currently on, because I think the finale is next week, it's going to be $150,000 for the winner, and I think $100,000 for the runner-up. So, and I'm trying to look for it because I know I had like the the post where, but this is what irritates me when I have people who tag me in a bunch of shit on my damn Facebook timeline, and then when I need to find something, I can't find it because y'all just be tagging me in some bullshit. So I'm gonna need y'all for future reference, unless it's really important. Don't tag me in some bullshit. So I found it though. So basically it says, because I had to write it down so I remember. So it says basically all the queens I announced on Drinks and Drag weeks ago are on the all winter season. There will be no eliminations this season, and I knew about this before this whole thing came out. But of course, a lot of times I have to keep shit to myself, or I will mention it in passing. Y'all just got to catch it. So there will be no eliminations this season, meaning all your favorite winners will not be pork chopped. There will also be a second batch of winners in the near future competing in another all-winner season. This is why when I was in the Drag Race groups and I told them that Bob was not asked, when they were like, well, why is Bob not on the show? She wasn't asked to be on the season. I'm surprised. Oh, she was doing We're Here. It had nothing to do with We're Here. When I hear from very reliable sources about stuff, trust me when I tell you. These are people that know these people personally that are telling me these things. And this person I trust when they tell me stuff. So there will be, and I know about this. So they're going to do two different parts. They're going to do two parts. So they're going to do one with this 8, and then they're going to do another all-winner season. So you'll see, Bianca Del Rio, Alaska, Lawrence Chaney, Barbara Drag Queen, Aquaria, Simone, Priyanka, and they even slid Willow Pill's name over there because quiet as kept. I think Willow Pill's actually winning. That means, funny thing is, I got 2 of my people from Remy's pool in my top 5. In on my list, top 5, and one of them I believe is going to win. So I think Willow's going to win, and Lady Camden is going to be the runner-up. Those are my choices. And Kylie Sonique Love will all get their chance to snatch yet another crown. Now you already know I said it comes on Paramount Plus on May 20th. I know people are upset about the whole Paramount Plus situation, but here's the thing. Streaming is the way to go with a lot of these reality shows. The ratings aren't really all that great for a lot of these reality shows. And I know a lot of people, why is not going to stay on VH1? Because Paramount, which owns, is part of the whole Viacom umbrella, they have stake in that. They're trying to build the streaming service. Like a lot of people, Disney is trying to build the streaming service. That's why America's Next Top Model. That's why Dance with the Stars is about to go to Disney Plus. Low ratings. We don't get into that tea in a second. But a lot of that's where everything is going now. A lot of these shows are going to streaming, and I think streaming is way better, in my opinion. I like streaming. So, but my question remains. The question remains to be that if it goes to streaming, and it's live, I shouldn't get no commercials. Because if I do decide to watch Dancing with the Stars this season and it goes to Disney Plus, I shouldn't get no commercials. Because they say that's going to be the first live show. Also, so I don't think there's going to be it may not be commercials. We'll have to see how Disney Plus works out that whole live situation. Because I've always been in my head trying to figure out how streaming services will make that work. Like if you put a lot of these reality-based shows on the streaming services now, how does that work with the whole, ads and all that other stuff? How do they, I guess that's the business aspect of my brain. But anyway, so I'm looking forward to Drag Race. I'm looking forward to seeing how they're going to work this out. I also heard this tea, and I'm going to tell y'all this before y'all hear it or y'all see it happening. I don't even think I even mentioned the girls is on because I've been talking so much about everybody else. So Jada Essence Hall, Jinx Monsoon, Monet Exchange, Raja, Shea Coulee, Trinity the Tuck, The Vivian, and Evie Oddly will be competing on this season. Now, I did hear that Monet and Trinity, who y'all know were the co-winners of their All-Star season, they're going to form some sort of alliance where they can get the most, because they're going to do it based on a point system. And so the ones who have the most points, they will go head to head, in an all-out lip sync war to determine who is the queen of all queens. So the way that they're trying to say with this is because we have 2 girls in a tie, they're going to have them 2 go head to head and basically be like, well, okay, so now these 2 are going head to head. Who is the queen of all queens? Is it Monet or is it Trinity? Which I guess would be pretty interesting. Although now I'm saying it feels a little produced. But then again, RuPaul's Drag Race has been produced drastically to the point where it's not even fun and interesting anymore. Like in my opinion, it's all about Drag Race Hispania. That's the show I'm feeling right now. So congratulations to them. And then last but certainly not least, because after this, we're going to take a break because there's been so much TV news and stuff that's been coming out. So I don't know if y'all heard, but we're getting a new reboot of Queer as Folk. Now, when I was a kid in the 90s, I loved this show because it was groundbreaking. This is the first time I was seeing people fucking on TV unapologetically. You know, there was frontal nudity, there was drugs, there was partying, there was, you know, all the things like in the 2000s and the 2010s and that sort of thing. It was sort of like I was very familiar with that world because I was relatively young. And I think in like the 2000s, that was like when I was able to start going to the clubs. So the only problem I had with Queer as Folk was that it was just a little too white. And I'm like, where's the diversity? Because y'all took place in Pittsburgh, which, no shade, but Pittsburgh don't look like that. Not how they looked on that Queer as Folk. We know it was shot in Canada, in Toronto. So, or was it Vancouver? I can't remember. It was some part of Canada. I have to look it up. But they shot the show in Canada, but then they placed it. I'm like, it would have been more believable. Y'all could have said like New York or Jersey, or y'all could have came up with some shit. But y'all wanted us to believe it was. You could have said Philly. Like, I would have been more believable if y'all would have said Philly. Y'all said some damn. Wait, let me hold on. So yeah. Oh yeah, I did hear about this, that a Disney heir, Charlie Disney, comes out as trans amid pushback about Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. So we got somebody who's an heir to the Disney throne who is transgender, and Rob Dumb Scientist wants to start pulling stunts. Okay. You about to lose your job and your coin. But anyway, so Queer as Folk has a new series, a new version coming out. It's going to be helmed by executive producer, writer Jacqueline Moore, who was behind Dear White People, and creator director Stephen Dunn. Now, the new version of Queer as Folk is described as a vibrant reimagining of the groundbreaking British series created Russell T Davies, exploring a diverse group of friends in New Orleans whose lives are transformed in the aftermath of a tragedy. Now, Stephen Dunn's assessment is pretty much what my assessment was. He says, like most queer 90s kids, I had a unique relationship with the original Queer as Folk. Creative executive producer and director of the new Queer as Folk said in a statement. He says, growing up, I was desperate for any sort of connection with people like me. It was the first time I really felt seen. The show offered a new paradigm, one where we could accept and celebrate queer love, families, and communities on a global stage. It was truly iconic. I am honored that Russell T Davies, the creator of the original series, trusted me to continue his legacy. He says, I wanted to create a new groundbreaking version of this show for this moment. Our new Queer as Folk is set in New Orleans, one of the most unique queer communities in North America, and I am immensely proud that the new series is comprised of an eclectic ensemble of fresh characters that mirror the modern global audience. And you know, where they were talking about how he said that the series is about people who live vibrant, vital, and unapologetic queer lives. There is no trailer for it. There's just like a little teaser where they're showing like Babylon. So I guess Babylon is back. But it's going to premiere on Thursday, June 9th on Peacock. So just in time for Pride season. I also think that, what's the other show? Johnny Sibley is up in there. So that was one of the people that drew me in that, that Johnny Sibley is coming back. And you know, Johnny Sibley does the thing that over on Logo. He does like the little interviews. He was also on Hacks, which just won the GLAAD Award. He also played Costas, Pray Tell's boyfriend in season 1 of, Pose, who died of AIDS. So Johnny Sibley's been getting around, and that was kind of what drew me into wanting to watch the show. Also, they got the guy from oh my god, what was the name of the? I said now I'm drawing a damn blank because they had a lot of actors and stuff that's on there. I know I can't remember his damn name. But yeah, some of the photos that I've seen, I have to say the color contrast and everything of the cinematography, I guess I should say, looks pretty good. It does. I was very impressed by a lot of the photos and stuff that I've seen of the cast. I know they have now Now DeMarco, who was on won his season America's Next Top Model and won his season of Dancing with the Stars. He's got a part on there. Then we got the guy who was on the openly queer actor who was on that show where he was disabled, I think. I forget the name of the damn show. It was on Netflix for like 2.5 seasons. He's on the show, you see him. He's literally the one with the glasses in this here photo. And Kim Cattrall's on the show too. So that was another thing that drew me in. However, what I fear this show is going to be the Benetton ad for the LGBTQ community. That is the biggest fear that I have, that y'all going to come up in here and yes, we could tell a story about a diverse cast, but y'all trying to check every LGBTQ LMNOP box and shove it in one show. It might be a little too much. If y'all can't make it work, I'm going to read y'all for it, but I am here for it. I just hope this is not just going to be some politically correct version of what queer life is today, that we can get some people out here who are diverse, who are not perfect, who make mistakes, who are not black and white, that there's shades of gray within all of them. So I'm looking forward to seeing the show. I'm curious. I mean, it would have been nice if they could have came up with another show and called it something else other than Queer as Folk, because we've had 2 different versions of it. But whatever, it is what it is. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the drama surrounding Tyra Banks and the fact that rumors are she's been fired from hosting Dance with the Stars. We're also going to talk about Burke is throwing shade at her, calling her a diva. We also got some tea on Kerrion Franklin, who apparently was connected to a murder of a missing woman. Kenya Moore, talking about on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she's done being the villain. We're going to leave that to Marlo. Let Marlo be the villain. Also, we got some tea on NeNe leaks and Benzino out here hooking up with a trans girl. Yes, some tea, honey. We got a whole lot of that and a whole lot more. So don't go away. We'll be right back with Mo on the line. Come on back, man. You hear?
Tyler Perry movie without telling me the name of it.
Tonight, I give you Paris in springtime.
Not my dog Boosie.
2. That's it. That's it. That's it. With your arms now. That's it. That's it. Move.
Article here, Jordy Jackson has been doing porn, and he said he stopped because this is something that's been going on, and it's a known fact, I guess, maybe not to you guys, but for people who are in the industry, Trimix has been used for a long time. It helps you maintain an erection. There's a lot of people that I know that do adult films, a lot of your faves on OnlyFans, and a lot of professional porn stars who use Trimix to stay erect, especially when in your real life, you're a big old power bottom, but you have to perpetrate a certain image on camera that you're a top. So in order to get, between me down there to be erect, a lot of guys tend to use it. So, oh, hey, Edward, how are you? So, he took to Twitter and said about because I guess someone asked, well, why did you stop? He says, a lot of people asking me about porn and why I don't do it anymore. I've kept quiet about this, but Michael Lucas forces an injection into the dick on his models. This is the reason I quit. He double dosed me with a lethal amount and I almost lost my dick. I'm not the only model either. He says the guy is drugged up to his eyeballs daily and does this injection himself. And we're going to say alleged, because one of the things about Michael Lucas, he loves suing a bitch whenever you try to drag his name through the mud. But honey, we don't need to drag your name through the mud because your name has been dragged through this industry for the past 2 decades. So, bitch, you've been doing your own bullshit on your own accord. So you cannot blame us. And I don't make the news. I just report it. So alleged. Save your situations for someone who gives a shit, because I don't. But I'm gonna continue. The guy is drugged up to his eyeballs daily and does this injection himself. He brings you up with a small amount of Trimix and then brings you down with a different drug. He mixes up his bottles when he was high and gave me a lethal amount. This is the same queen that claimed that, not Jordy, but Michael, who went around saying that, oh, I'm so vehemently against barebacking. Oh, bareback is disgusting, and started condemning people for doing barebacking. Oh, look, we back. I was like, I had no sound in my ears the entire time. But anyway, welcome back, y'all. Yeah, let's get back into some things. Glad you could sit and join us for all this good tea. Now, let's get into this whole Tyra Banks situation. So I'm sure y'all probably already heard that Dance with the Stars will no longer be on ABC. Instead, now it's been pushed over to Disney Plus. Disney Plus is trying something where they want to do live shows. So this will be their first ever experiment, I guess. And they're looking to take the Dance with the Stars franchise and move it over to the streaming service. The funny thing is I have Disney Plus. Well, a friend of mine I'm on his. At one point I did have it, but I was barely watching it. Then I was just like, I wasn't really feeling it. Every now and again, I'll come back to Disney Plus. Currently, I'm watching Moon Knight, which I'm absolutely loving. And I'm upset because this is the only season they're doing. So enjoy it while you can, y'all, because it's not coming back after this one season. That, and I heard Hawkeye is not coming back. I didn't like Hawkeye. And I love Jeremy Renner and, everything. But I just felt like what they did with that show was just a travesty. But I'm not surprised that show's not coming back. But moving right into this whole situation. So apparently the fans, if you've been following Dance with the Stars in the past 2 seasons, people have not taken a liking to Tyra Banks and how she has been coming across as the new host. And, they did, in my opinion, I think Brooke Burke was on the show at the time with her and Tom Bergeron, and they just basically just chopped them both and just brought her in. And without no warning or anything, I think they found out they were fired the way we found out they were fired on the internet. Like when all the trade papers were announcing it. So, so Tyra Banks has been hosting the show for 2 seasons. People have pretty much, like, if you read the timeline, and I'm going to be honest, I have not watched Dance with the Stars since she's been hosting, but I have read the comments, and people were really dragging her in the comments about her wardrobe choices, that she was a hot-ass mess when she was hosting. There was at one point her mic went out. Like, it was just a bunch of drama that was going on. But so now, Brooke Burke is throwing shade at Tyra Banks, saying this. She called Banks a diva, claiming everybody knows it during Wednesday's episode of David Yontef's Behind the Velvet Rope podcast, saying, there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not saying anything bad about her. Be a diva. Burke, who's 50, replied when Yontef asked what she thought about Banks as host and the criticism she's received from fans. It's just not the place to be the diva. And page 6, according to who's talking about the story, they reached out to her. There was no comment. But Burke, who won season 7 of Dancing with the Stars with former pro turned judge Derek Huff, she then co-hosted seasons 10 and 17 alongside Tom Bergeron. Burke said on the podcast that she believes Banks, who's 48, had a tough transition trying to replace Bergeron and former so it was Erin Andrews, that's what it was, for seasons 29 and 30. Change is hard for everyone. They've gone through a lot on that show, that's for sure, she said, adding that you are just not the star as the host. Like, it's just not about you as the host, right? So, yeah, I think Tyra is great in a shining role. I will just say that. So, basically what she's saying is the fact that, and this is what people have to realize, when you are the host of a show, it's not about you. Now, it's different if it's something like a RuPaul's Drag Race, because yes, the show is kind of sort of about you because these girls are on a platform trying to be the next big drag superstar, not the next RuPaul. Because at this point, RuPaul gonna make sure y'all don't become the next all. Quiet as his kid. But when it comes down to it, she's gonna give you a platform to show off your best drag or whatever the show is, and then you have to impress her because she's the one who makes the choice, the one that not to send you home, unless it's All Stars UK versus the world. Then y'all got to do that shit yourselves. But for the most part, when she's doing it, it's like it's up to her, that sort of thing. When you are a host of a show like A Dancing with the Stars, even like with Kat Deely and So You Think of Dance, and I think this is why people like Kat Deely more so than Tyra. Kat Deely understands her position. She understands why she's there. She's there to be cheeky. She's there to
I don't know how the bubble
rolling.
moves, but it's just like it was not working properly. I think I had got like a defective bubble or something.
Girl down.
And I'm like, you know what? We about to end this bitch with a bang. So I was like, voila.
I didn't hear any of that, but okay. It was like no sound. But the main point of like if you're doing a competition type series, it's like if I'm hosting something, y'all come out looking fierce and everything, but it's not about me. You're the MC. Your role is read the teleprompter, interact with the contestants, keep the flow of the show. That's what your job is. It's not to kind of overshadow the people that's performing and make it about you. And if that was the case, girl, just bring America's Next Top Model back. Like, just do that. But so what Brooke is saying makes sense. And when people who have worked with her have said that Tyra can be a bit of a diva. So I'm not surprised when I hear this type of news. So now an insider is stating, and speaking of Tyra, that Dancing with the Stars show execs are heavily considering dropping Tyra Banks from hosting the dance competition series. However, the source says an official word on who will host next season has yet to be decided. Just a few days ago, as I reported, ABC and Disney Plus recently announced that the staple series would be moving to the streaming platform. Reportedly, the move came after the 30-season series struggled with consecutive years of low viewership. So it could also be, if I wonder, maybe people just aren't into watching those type of shows anymore. Maybe people are just over the whole dance. I mean, not just dance. Like, in my opinion, well, they're saying that the Tyra is a large reason for the drop in ratings. During her first season, Tyra inaccurately announced which couples were up for elimination. Apparently, fans did not take well to the runway powerhouse after that moment, constantly critiquing her from that point on. Viewers complained about the model's flashy fashion pieces and even started a petition to have her removed from the show. I mean, she wants to look good. I mean, she's not going to come on there, in a cardboard box. But when you got a picture of her literally dressed like one of those creatures from, Jurassic Park. Remember the scene with the fat guy? He was running. He was trying to leave Jurassic Park with that stolen shit. And then those creatures came out and they had the flappy things flapped up before they spewed their venom in his face. She had an outfit on that literally looked like that. So they're probably been attention-grabbing outfits that she has worn, which I can understand. Okay, bitch, now you're trying to vie for attention. And you doing all this for attention. So I get it. So I don't know which they should replace him. Maybe it was someone who was a former contestant, judge, or whatever. I can't remember. There's been so many people that have come and gone on that show. If y'all decide to, if y'all could figure out who they should replace her, that'd be great. It'd be nice if they kind of would change it up a bit, because doing all that Russian style, the pasadeles and the quick step and all that proper type of dancing, it's kind of boring for me. This is why I prefer So You Think You Can Dance, because it's like these real kids who are professional dancers, and they come and they do different styles of dance. So it's like the hip hop, and they do jazz, and they do the ballet, and they do all these different. So it's an incorporation of different dance. It's not just this specific ballroom style of dancing, which I think it was cute back in the day, but we got to also realize tastes are evolving. The way we view things on television now are evolving. So a lot of these long in the tooth shows, there really isn't that much of an audience for it anymore. People have outgrown it. So maybe that could be it also. Maybe people have outgrown Dancing with the Stars. So you know what? Only time will tell. When they move it over to Disney Plus, we'll see if the ratings fare any better. If it doesn't, then it may be time for them to look at it as an opportunity to put the show to bed. I mean, besides, how many more D-list celebrities can you put on there, or former Trump, co-workers, people who work for Trump that y'all want to put on as a stunt casting? That's another thing too. When y'all putting on Sean Spicer or the Kellyanne Conways, and next thing you know, y'all gonna have Marjorie Taylor Greene, creature of the Black Lagoon looking ass. Y'all gonna want to put her, that ugly bitch, on Dancing with the Stars, and then just to create controversy. Like, we ain't got time. So now one thing we do have time for is this Kerrion Franklin story. So now he is denying recent allegations that have been put out against him. Now, when I heard this story earlier in the week, I clutched all the pearls that I had, because I couldn't believe this foolishness. Now, in a phone call interview from his jail cell, the reality star spoke with entertainment blogger Larry Reed about his recent arrest. The Bad Boys LA star denied rumors that he was arrested in connection to the murder of a missing woman. Now, what happened was, he said this. He said, I've been asking for medical attention and haven't been acknowledged, just been denied. It's just unfortunate. My inner circle is changing. Different things have been happening around me, feeling like I'm being set up, feeling like people are trying to catch me doing wrong. When asked why he was stopped in the first place, the reality star initially evades the question, stating, I don't live a crazy lifestyle outside of my art. I don't really bother nobody. Okay, but why did they stop you? Hello, that's what we're asking. He says, I don't want to be out here around the wrong group of people so that I can be framed for their wrongdoings. Okay, so who are these wrong group of people? So does that mean that he knows who might be behind the situation of who the gun belongs to? Where this missing woman is? Did he know this missing woman that they're looking for? Does he know who she is? Does he know who before the whole situation occurred? Like, let us know the teas, because you sit down here and talking about you're changing your inner circle because people are trying to set you up. Well, who are these people? You're talking, you're speaking in riddles, and I can't stand when people do that shit. It's like, just get to the fucking point. Just like Moolah and the other one, Curtis, badgering you about coming out the goddamn closet. I'm badgering you to tell this damn truth. This is the shit we need to know, so that way you get your ass out of jail if you're innocent. So then Larry Reed then leads Kerrion to speak about the busted taillight that got him pulled over, because that's what I heard. It was a busted taillight. He said, I've been working on one of my cars, and one of my taillights fuse started tripping. I was just up early making moves, and I was in Beverly Hills. And so they stopped me talking about I got 2 warrants. I've been told a lot of things, and I don't know what's actually right. Wait, what? And I don't know what's actual right now. I just want y'all to keep me in y'all prayers. So they tell you a whole bunch of stuff, but you don't know what's going on. He said that the car that he was pulled over in was purchased over a year ago by an unnamed woman and her boyfriend. Rumors have circulated in the media that the vehicle belonged to a missing woman alleged to be Kerrion's girlfriend. Addressing the murder connection to the vehicle, he stated, I don't think that's true because I met the woman who sold me the car. So whoever sold me the car, she was alive, and her boyfriend or husband, they sold it to me. So I've had the car for over a year. Now, before the interview, they ended abruptly. Larry Reid asked Kerrion if the death of his former companion played a role in his felony charges. Charles Williams, known professionally as CJ, was found deceased after publicly bashing Kerrion. CJ reportedly admitted to leaking audio that he knew would embarrass Kerrion in the media right before his passing. So there's a lot of messy stuff that is happening, and I'm like, what is going on? So, and now regarding CJ, Kerrion stated, I never had a beef with CJ. CJ was harassing me. That's the thing. I've been living my life not bothering people, and I'm getting harassed. So there's no more information on this. I'm still left beyond confused about what's going on, and I'm like, so what's the tea? What is happening? Like, is he still in jail? Did they let him out yet? But you know, I guess at this point, all we could do is let the police do their job, and we'll find out down the road whether or not if Kerrion is guilty or if he's not guilty. This may be a case of mistaken identity. Okay, because I just don't know where else to go with that one. It's like all we could do is just sit around and wait. So Kenya Moore said that she is ready to turn over a new leaf and no one was really considered the villain of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Well, good for her. Now, in a recent interview promoting season 14, longtime Peach holder Kenya Moore dished on the upcoming season and claimed that viewers will get to see a more carefree and lighthearted side of her. And this is what she said. She says, I'm the Kenya that I always meant to be this season. It's so funny because I think that I got pegged into this villain role, and now it's like, girl, just let someone else have that baton. Marlo, here, pass the scepter on, honey. It's over for you. I just think I'm back to reclaiming who I was always meant to be on this show. Lighthearted, fun, sassy. I will still tell a bitch off, but I'll do it with such dignity and grace. As you should. Like, you know, sometimes the girls have to come to a point where it's like you gotta establish yourself. Sometimes we can be a little rough around the edges. Will Smith is coming. I got that tea coming. Yeah, I was supposed to get that story. And I do want to wrap that up. So we're gonna get to that in a second. But shout out to Kenya, because I have to say, like, you know, I'm glad that she's decided to turn over a new leaf and be like, you know what? I don't want to just continue to give y'all the same person over and over and over again because we get tired. Oh, yeah, I know. Like, bitch, I'm sitting there commenting on things. I'm saying, like, bitch, let me shut up and just, you know. But anyway, so I'm actually happy for Kenya. I wanted to see a different side of Kenya. I knew there was other sides of Kenya than what y'all, you know, a lot of people wanted to just show on TV because I would hear that from people. Like people would say, you know, the Kenya that you would see on TV, that's not the only Kenya you would get. And I'm like, you know what? There's other people that really is trying to make a name for themselves and fought so hard to get a damn peach, Marlo. But quiet as it's kept, only reason why you got a peach because look, Andy said for years you wasn't getting no peach. Speaking of which, with Carlos King getting a show, do you think that'll put a pep in Andy Cohen's step to try to rejudge Watch What Happens Live? Because, look, the ratings on that show is in the toilet. I don't think people care about Watch What Happens Live anymore. So maybe that whole format, or maybe it's just him. I think we just don't care. But anyway, back to the show. So I'm looking forward to seeing it because, you know, I saw the trailer of the Real Housewives of Atlanta upcoming season, and I have to say it looks really good. I was not excited about last season. Last season did not give what needed to be given. So I was disappointed in season 13. And so after, you know, when y'all try to incorporate, and don't get me wrong, like it's cute or whatever, like we can have moments of trying to be serious, but to me it felt like y'all were trying to just tack on the whole Black Lives Matter, that whole serious political stuff, and that's not what the Real Housewives is always about. Yes, the Real Housewives does do charity and they bring that in there, but it was always about the drama and the shade and the camaraderie between the women. So it was never supposed to be this serious thing that all of a sudden y'all try to turn the Real Housewives into. That's what fucked up New York. That's what fucked up Atlanta. I think y'all were trying to get a little too serious with it, and that's not why people watch these shows. It's basically 1 hour every week of women throwing shade at each other. That's basically what it is. That's like trying to make, you know, trying to do the Bad Girls Club with, you know, a bunch of political pundits. Like that's not going to work. It's not gonna work. Like, you can't come in here and try to make it all serious and informative. That's not what people come for these shows for. When you create that space of what a show is for so long, unfortunately, you get stuck in this rut when you can't evolve it the way you need to evolve it. And I also heard that she's going through it with that ex-husband of her. Well, I don't even think they divorced yet. But I think Kenya about to be the her marriage to Mark Daly is going to be probably as long as Bethany with Jason Hobbies. You know, she finally got divorced from that man recently. And it was like over a decade that them two was in court fighting to get a divorce and the whole payout thing. And he's trying to get money from her. So I always said that Mark ain't a no good SOB. And so unfortunately got wrapped up in that bum ass of a man. But I'm actually looking forward to, you know, Miss Gone with the Wind Fabulous. Miss Team, you know, I'm Team Twirl, bitch. She also admitted that she was given the title of the show's villain by fans and decided to run with it. She says, I think that I was just pegged into that villain role really early, and I just was never able to get out of that. I sort of, in my own way, leaned into it, and then it was just like, okay, this is old, because now this isn't really who I am, and I hate that I'm even perceived that way. I literally just said that. I didn't even have to read the rest of the article. But this is basically perception of me being a fan of the Real Housewives and me watching Kenya and saying, like, you know what, girl, it's not even you. Like, what made me really love Kenya even more was like watching Ultimate Girls Trip, and she was giving me what needed to be given there, which we just got a different side of her. And yeah, she would call Ramona out on her shit. Now that's a bitch that ain't evolved. Ramona Singer. So when y'all look at, that's the ultimate villain. That's the show villain, not Kenya. Like, Kenya would just call you out on your shit, and she was like, I'm not going to take your mess. And I like people who are like that. But then when I need to call you out on things, I'm going to call you out on it. So kudos to her. Now, Miss Lanithia Monique Leaks, who I heard is in Ghana with her African boyfriend at the moment. She's in the news again, claiming she's been blacklisted, followed and harassed. So, in a set of tweets, a former cast member alleged she's been followed and blacklisted for speaking her truth, among other things. The allegations came after NeNe, who retweeted a clip of her former castmate Kandi Burruss being interviewed. Now, in the clip, Kandi and the gang star Kandi Burruss asked about NeNe seemingly shading the new Bravo series. Kandi states the following: I don't want this to become a big shade throwing contest between she and I, but I do not understand why she does that. Now, there's been some stuff that's been going around saying that NeNe's been going in and just throwing shade at the ratings for Kandi's show, which I have to admit, I have watched a couple of episodes of Kandi and the Gang, and it's just not my judge. None of the people on that show are likable. I don't like any of them people that she got working for her. Like, to me, if this was the real world, well, it is kind of the real world, because that's a real restaurant that people go into to eat. But the type of characters that they got up in there, I just don't get how y'all got those people up in there working for you. And they don't have the best interest of your restaurant. They're just showing up late to work, literally minutes before y'all about to open. You showing up, you being disrespectful to the new general manager. Oh, we get some of the general managers that come and go. And Kandi looked like she just want a couple of friends and fans and shit up in there. But like, no, bitch, these are employees. Like, if they're supposed to come up and be here at work, they can do that, because this is the real world. And I worked in the restaurant business before my current job. And if you did all this shit in a real restaurant that you wasn't doing because you have some celebrity running it, y'all asses would have been fine. All of y'all, I had a clean house with all you bitches. But, you know, apparently they like all these characters just on the show. You know, when it comes to reality TV, they need these characters and shit. So, and then I'm going to play, let me finish the Kandi stuff, and then I'm going to play this clip of Miss Lanithia over from the Shade Room. So, she also said, back when she did have a show, me and her wouldn't even be on the same page, and I would still be telling people to watch her show. I don't understand why I understand why her fans be treating me like I'm stopping her from doing something. What does my show stop you from doing? Nothing. People always want to know why she gets these shows. We pitch our shows. A lot of them don't pitch shows. A lot of them just sit there and think, I'm so great that Bravo should put a show in my lap. Me and my husband, we come up with these ideas and we pitch them. Sometimes the network is forced, sometimes they aren't. And I think that is true when it comes to that I think a lot of times that was NeNe's attitude. NeNe's attitude was sort of, I'm the HBIC of RHOA, that I'm the queen bee. And don't get me wrong, I do agree. Like, she was the standout star she was the breakout star of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She did give what needed to be given. She gave us so many phrases, so many quotes. Bloop. Close your legs to married men, trash box. Like I still say some of these memorable lines from her. Where's your scooter? Where is it? What's another one? There's a bunch of them. They'll pop in my head throughout the day. So NeNe has had many of phrases and catchphrases and lines and things, and she has always been the comedy relief. And she was good with the shade. She came head to head with Claudia Jordan at one point. Claudia almost scalped her with them oodles and noodles, hairdo that she had during her season. Then when NeNe tried to have a little blonde finger wave, the like uncooked noodles, the oodles and noodles in the cup of noodles. That's what it's called. So NeNe was out here tweeting. Basically, they always blacklist you when you tell the truth. Stop harassing my business and my family. Stop having me follow. Stop blacklisting Black women for speaking the truth. Stop paying off attorneys to not file discrimination claims. Stop it. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about. She's talking about support Black women. It would be nice if you support Black women, but based off of, and I'm talking about perception, me as an outsider looking in and watching how she's moved over the years, to me, I've never seen like NeNe really support Black women. I felt like she's always, in so many ways, have been jealous of Kandi, because Kandi, at the end of the day, yeah, she is a Grammy Award winner, singer-songwriter. She was a part of Escape, but she also knew how to parlay her reality TV success into other business moves. She's always coming up with some business. And she's smart to go to a network and be like, you know what? I got an idea. Since I have a great relationship with these people over here, let me and my business team put something together and come up with an idea to present to the network and see if they bite and take the show. I think Kandi and the Gang is a great idea for a show that you have, cameras following the antics of her aunts and her mother and the people that work in her family restaurant in Atlanta. That is a great idea and a great concept for a show. I watched it. It's cute. It's not something that I run to every week, but it's a cute show. I do love Aunt Bertha. She is my favorite over on that show. But other than that, it's like, yeah, this would be the opportunity for you to create and do all this stuff. Like, what happened during the seasons of when your career was popping at the height with the New Normal and Glee and all other stuff? You should have been pitching shows to Bravo, being like, you know what? While I'm out in LA, this is the opportunity for y'all to have, like, let's put something together. Y'all follow me as I'm trying to break out as an actor in Hollywood, trying to take on Hollywood. NeNe takes on Hollywood. Like, that should have been a show during the era of you working with Ryan Murphy and getting out there and getting all these different opportunities. I even think at one point, didn't she do Chicago, which Pamela Anderson is currently doing? So all these opportunities you had at that time, you could have cooked up a show with that. Instead of, oh yeah, I'm flying back and forth between doing Real Housewives of Atlanta, I'm doing Dance with, I think she was on Dance with the Stars too. Maybe I'm mistaken. But I know she's had all these other things that she was doing. That could have been an opportunity to make a show that way. So you can't get mad when your stuff doesn't work. Are you talking about, and I'm sure there's blacklisting going on when it speaks the truth, but to me, when I look at NeNe, it just comes across as a right message, wrong messenger when it comes from listening to her talk about this. Because do Black people get blacklisted when they speak the truth about the crazy business endeavors that goes on behind the scenes when you tell the truth about shit that they're doing to you? Yes. But do I feel like it's happened to her? Possibly. But when it's happened to NeNe, she was, it just seemed like she was all for, she didn't, it was bad over at Bravo when they couldn't give her the money that she wanted to get. And they were like, you know what? Well, we're done with you. And she didn't want to cooperate in that last review. She closed the laptop and was acting like a diva. And she was difficult to work with and all these other different things. So after not being able to cooperate with the network and being a diva and being nasty to your, the crew and having to get suspended for a couple of episodes because you assaulted one of the cameramen that went and filmed inside your closet. Like all these different things. It just, I want to be with you and root for you, but it's hard to kind of do that when your behavior kind of shows otherwise. So let's play this clip and then we'll come back.
NeNe called me thirsty on Twitter. When? I'm not the one begging Bravo to get back on. So there's that. I have jobs. Wish you work.
Yeah, that was the clip that we played in the beginning of the show. You know, Claudia Jordan basically throwing shade at NeNe. You know, she's on vacation this week, I know, so that's why she had been on her show with Diva and them. But NeNe is out here denying that she shaded the ratings of Kandi in the game after Kandi clapped back at her. So one fan remarked that they weren't ever going to watch Kandi and the gang and share their support for NeNe Leakes, who famously left the Real Housewives of Atlanta on bad terms with many of the cast members, including Kandi. Thank you, NeNe wrote in response to the tweet, with many interpreting it as shade towards Burke in the show. I refuse to watch for so many reasons, and I've always see. Here's the thing. I blame you fucking toxic ass fans for this bullshit. A lot of y'all be baiting a lot of these celebrities on social media, or like to put your comments and y'all tag the celebrities on purpose because y'all want that y'all cast the rod and want to see if the fish takes the bait. And NeNe is the fish, and she takes the bait. Now you can cast the rod, but when the celebrity responds, my thing is, don't get mad when the people come and they read you for filth because you try to come for them, but it was like, oh, I wasn't talking about them. See, she put on that same shit, and I'm about to drag somebody else in the that Azula Basia from RuPaul's Drag Race, who is about to compete on the upcoming season of Legendary. When someone tagged her about I don't know if y'all see the recent episode of what is it? Drag Race España. And there was one queen, drag Setlas, who in her performance, she's wearing these crazy ass boots that her drag mother from season 1 wore. And she does a split off the top of a box. Now, if y'all remember, during Aja's season of All Stars, she did a dip off of a box during her season, which gagged everybody. And even one of the judges alludes to that we've seen it done better on recent episodes of Drag, like on a past episode that I guess was alluding to Aja's performance. So Aja was like, oh, I wasn't talking about her, this and the other, when she made her little shady comment. And then, of course, the Drag Race España girls was coming for her. And, you know, the Spaniards, bitch, y'all are vicious with y'all mouths. And some of the shade and the reads that y'all be doing, because, bitch, when I was reading them, when I was reading a lot of those comments and things, and then Settlers went in on her, and a couple of the girls from that franchise went on her. So y'all are messy. But yeah, just like, don't sit over here and throw shade at people and then just make it like
girl, NeNe
you didn't throw the shade. Just admit to it.
The read.
Just admit to it. Just say that I was talking about it, and just hide, and don't
I found my
throw a
readers,
stone
honey.
and then hide your hand. I hate when people do that. So when the interviewer mentioned to Burke that she was confused about why Leakes would do that, she said, what are the ratings on her show? I don't want this to become a big shade throwing contest between she and I, because just like she can throw shade at me, I can throw shade at her. My whole thing is like, I do not understand why she does that. Back when she did have a show, even when, and I read this part already, when she said that they would be on the same page, she would tell people to go watch her show. And that was true. The NeNe would be the type of, not this show. Remember when they used to do this foolish like, and then at one point she was trying to use the gays to create a View style panel show. And that shit didn't happen. It's like, girl, with all the money and shit you had, and you was doing at your lounge, you could have put together a better production and hire a better editor. But good luck to you, girl. For somebody who blacklisted, she ain't that blacklisted because her ass about to be on College Hill, the celebrity version. So I don't know where you must be blacklisted over at NBC Universal, which is understandable because you called them racist. But I'm sure you can get a job at, you got a job at Viacom, you're doing something for BET and other networks. Or why even look to the network because you missed the money. But I'm like, if that's the case, you know what? Put the money you have together and go independent and create something on your own. But a lot of times these girls don't want to put in that work. They want people to just come to them and, like Kandi said, drop an offer in your lap. It's not how the world works. You got to go out there and get it. You got to put the treatment together. So let's talk about Will Smith. So I'm sure y'all heard the board has decided for a period of 10 years from April 8th, 2022, Mrs. Smith shall not be permitted to attend any Academy events or programs in person or virtually, including but not limited to the Academy Awards, said Empress President David Rubin and CEO Dawn Hudson of Smith's Unacceptable and Harmful Behavior. Now, you know, David Rubin and Dawn Hudson were the ones who allegedly, what the rumor was, the behind the scenes tea, they wanted him to be escorted out of the event shortly after what he did to Chris Rock. They were upset about it. They were making phone calls. It was all being handled behind the scenes where they were fighting with his camp, and they wanted him gone. Then you had the producer of the show. Oh my God, how did I forget his damn name? Will Packer. It is. I reached for it and I grabbed it. Before it disappeared. Will Packer, who you know has produced a lot of amazing films. I think he produced Girls Trip. He produced Wendy Williams' messy ass Lifetime movie that ain't to really tell us nothing that we ain't already know, us hardcore fans, us Wendy nieces. You know, he's produced a lot of stuff. He produced the Oscars this year. So he basically wanted Will to stay. That's what he said in an interview. In my opinion, he should have been escorted out. But then you had these, I don't want to say dumbass, she's an icon. She's an EGOT winner. So Whoopi Goldberg was like, oh, well, then you would have to explain why you had to escort the black. No, we're not doing that. Everybody is aware of why he had to be escorted out. You smack somebody on stage. Therefore, when you smack somebody, they ask them to be removed. You don't go around hitting people, especially when y'all are both of a union, the SAG-AFTRA union. So I don't want to get back into this whole thing again. It's a ship that has sailed long before, the ship is long sailed. I'm over talking about it. I'm ready to move on. I'm sure he is too. I'm sure he feels bad. Fortunately, he's stuck in that torturous ass marriage with that woman, but that's a whole nother story. But for the most part, does the punishment fit the crime? I say no. I feel like what they should have did, not take the Oscar away, because you know what, people were on, and y'all tried, y'all, if I need to call some of y'all motherfuckers Stretch Armstrong, because y'all be reaching for a reason to compare some shit to shit that ain't got nothing to do with shit. And when I say that, it's, well, if that's the case, then why does Roman Polanski get to keep his Oscar, and why does Harvey Weinstein get to, y'all need to go after them. For what? Number one, Roman Polanski and those allegations. First of all, I forgot he was married to Sharon Tate. Now, if y'all know that Sharon Tate story, the whole thing with Charles Manson and murder, the whole cult, that was a gag. I totally forgot about that. So recently, I was watching something on Shudder and they brought that up. I know what it was. They were doing, it was this thing about cursed films, and they were talking about Rosemary's Baby, and his wife was, it was directed by Roman Polanski, and it was somehow that the exterior of the building that Rosemary and her husband were living in, that was the exact building that John Lennon lived in, where, he was actually shot in front of his apartment building. I totally forgot about that too. So it was a lot of craziness was going on. But anyway, back to the story. So when you bring up people like Roman Polanski and you bring up Harvey Weinstein, I said this is completely different. Number one, a lot of their allegations took years to prove. Also, their allegations happened behind the scenes. People knew about Harvey Weinstein's behavior and looked the other way because he was the most powerful producers in Hollywood. This is before accountability culture and cancel culture and Me Too and all that other stuff. So when all that started to rear its head, that's when people started to take down Harvey Weinstein. So why are we talking about taking away Oscars? Like, that don't make sense. What Will Smith did was in public, in front of billions of people around the world who were watching. That's different. So the evidence is literally in front of us. We saw it with our own eyes. So you can't compare what he did to what they did. That's different. So I'm trying to always try to paint everything with a broad damn brush. So I had to explain that, and a lot of people agree with me. But, you know, that's what happens. You have to be intelligent. You got to break shit down to people. So does the punishment fit the crime? No, I don't think so. Because number one, he's only being told he cannot perform. I mean, he cannot show up at an award show. Who the fuck wants to sit in at a boring ass 4-hour award show? You doing me a favor. I ain't got to show up to that boring shit. Thank you. Also, what should have happened was he should not be. I think the punishment would have been any movie that he has come out for the next 10 years cannot be up for nomination. But I think the people behind the scenes, because, you know, Oscars are voted on by his peers, I think his peers will punish him. So if Emancipation, this slave movie he got coming out, directed by Antoine Fuqua, you know Hollywood loves a slave movie. If when this thing comes up where he puts this up for a nomination, people behind the scenes will be like, you know what, this shit is too fresh. I don't want to vote for him. I don't want to give him no more awards. Fuck him. Let's give it to somebody else. I think the shade will happen for the people behind the scenes. They won't say it to his face, but they'll hit him with the vote or non-vote. He could still go to Vanity Fair after parties like he did this year. He was doing it up, partying, having a good old time at the Vanity Fair after party after the Oscars. So where's the punishment? He's not being punished for his crime. You basically just like, that's like a slap on the wrist. Oh, so basically it's like a child. Go to your room and think about what you did. You're on punishment for 2 weeks. Mind you, you get to keep your computer, you get to keep your PlayStation, you get to keep your TV, you get to keep everything in your room. So you get to go to be on punishment in a room where all your stuff is there. You get to have your phone, you get to have all your stuff. I'm in heaven. So the Oscars, in my opinion, has always been pretty spineless when it comes to handling punishments. And I think it has to do with his status. He's this big A-list superstar. So they're not going to punish him the way they need to punish him. And I've seen lesser known actors get harsher punishment. Remember the kid that was on, I think it was on The Flash, the TV show, not the movie, because the movie has been taken. First of all, it's taken them 8 years to make this fucking movie, and we still got to wait another goddamn year for it. So there was an actor that was on one of those CW Arrowverse shows. I think it was The Flash. And he was fired because some old tweets came out that he had said some inappropriate stuff. I think it was racist or homophobic or whatever the case was. I don't remember what it was. But I remember he was handled harshly by Warner Brothers over what he said and did. But then, so to me, it comes across more like y'all want to make it like a race issue. It ain't got shit to do with race. He's a good old boy in Hollywood. People love Will Smith, and white people are comfortable around him. So this is a classism issue. It has to do with he is A-list, so they're going to treat him differently than someone like this kid whose career pretty much was tarnished over some old tweets that he posted 10 years ago, coming back to haunt him. He was I ain't even never heard of him. He was on some old CW show, but they pretty much just obliterated him from our eyes and from this show. I never heard of him ever again over some old tweets. But Will Smith gets a slap on the damn wrist. So I'm still a fan. I'm still watching his movies. I like the movie he won the Oscar for. I thought King Richard was good. Lanier says, I think they should have banned Will Smith for half that time he got. In my opinion, 5 years would have been enough. I do agree. I think 10 years is too long. I'm glad you brought that up because I was going to actually forget all about you mentioned that. I do think it should have been a 5-year ban. 10 years is ridiculous. 10 years is a lot. And when you do it for 10 years, it literally is like I said, you could win an award, but you can't show up to accept it. So they'll probably have, I see y'all should be shady to have Chris Rock accepted on his behalf. But yeah. Good luck to you, Willard. So I'm sure the story's not going to go anywhere. We'll see what happens in regards of um, his, the future in regards to those upcoming roles that he had coming out. Because I know that they were a little harsh over that situation. Oh, in case y'all didn't know, I meant to bring this up too. The Batman will be on HBO Max this coming Monday. Yeah, they already got the countdown. I was sitting there when I'm like, is it a little too soon? Because I know Tom Cruise had this whole thing where he was ready to lawyer up over them doing that whole thing with him in the Mission Impossible 7 movie. That 45 days he wanted, they were going to give him that 45-day window before it hits the streaming. And he was like, no, I need a full 3 months. Like, I want that whole 3 months because he's in his mind. People need to see this on the screen. They'll see it for those couple of weeks. And even though the Batman is not making as much money, like it's still in the top 5. It's still doing relatively well, but it's not bringing in like $60-70 million a week. It's still doing relatively well. But now it's sort of like, oh, the 45 days period is coming up. Now they cut it back a day early because it's supposed to come out on Tuesday. Now they push it up a day early to Monday. So now the movie is coming out, and it's like, are you kind of cutting your tail off? Like, should you have expanded the time and be like, let's leave it in for another 2 weeks before we put it off on HBO Max? Because, in my opinion, this is a movie you need to see in a theater. It's a great experience. I saw it twice in IMAX. Got some more review. It's up on my channel. But I'm looking forward to seeing this movie on my TV, on how it looks and everything. But yeah, seeing it in IMAX with the surround sound and just that booming, now I can sit at home 3 hours and watch it. But anyway, so let's wrap this show up with this topic. So Benzino is being put on blast by Shauna Brooks, who is a trans actress, saying that she's in an entanglement with the no-neck reality star. So footage of what appears to be recorded conversations between 56-year-old Benzino and Shauna Brooks, who was 32, leaked earlier this week and now has the internet buzzing. In the audio, a male's voice that appears to be Benzino can be heard telling Shauna Brooks that it looks bad for him to have a relationship with a trans woman and then he will be judged harshly for it. He said, I don't, wait, you don't fucking look bad. I do. In this world, you ain't doing nothing wrong. It would be wrong if I did. You're not looking bad, Shauna. You're looking like a chick. He's just a chick. I mean, hey, just a chick who tried to F with an N-word. I'm looking wrong because what the F are you doing trying to F with a transgender? Child, I was trying to make sense of that. That hurt my brain even trying to read that. And they showed a child, y'all shady. Y'all got a picture of Benzino working out at Planet Fitness. You ain't got no money. You working out at Planet Fitness, child. You don't have Equinox money. Oh, what are you doing? All I see is titties. Titty. So there is from shout out to Ken Barbie. Now there's exclusive videos up on their Twitter of Benzino admitting his attraction and desire for more with Shauna, but became infuriated with her when it got to the point that she wanted to take things public because he felt people would look at him crazy. Now, some found the leaked recordings funny. Others felt as though Brooks was wrong for allegedly outing Benzino. After receiving backlash, Brooke took to Twitter to clarify she did not have ill intent. Here's what she said. My intent is never to out anyone, but my truth is always tea. While it's painful to relive publicly, I'm tired of men loving girls like us only behind closed doors and treating us as if we're disposable when it's no longer convenient. They want you to be their toy on their time. And she's got a point. And she also wrote, on Wednesday, it said Brooks posted a shady comment seemingly aimed at Benzino to her IG story. She wrote, yeah, I'm tired of putting my neck on the line for N-words that don't even have one or can't even measure up to. Now, Benzino has denied that he has even hooked up with her. Now, Corey LeRae's father wrote, I am straight and always will be that. The 56-year-old TV personality went on to say, I respect the LGBTQ community. He concluded his post with the hashtag Xeno versus the planet. I don't know what the fuck that means, but okay. Now, he also said that this was for a movie role. Ciao. Okay. So let's break this down. Because I'm looking at it from both ends. Now, I do agree with Shauna that there happens to be this thing that goes on in our community. It's been mentioned on polls. It's been mentioned by many trans girls that I know that for years, this is a conversation. These trans women are women. I know it's hard for a lot of y'all to get that in y'all fucking heads, but they are. They identify as a woman, that's what they are. Being with a trans woman does not mean you're gay. So I think men like Benzino, his uneducated, ignorant ass, but I guess because, him having no neck cuts off real circulation of intelligence in that fucking brain of his. So expecting him to think logically or understanding, you out here worrying about what other people think. This is the man talking about he loved the LGBTQ community. If that was the case, then you need to let your daughter be a full-on bulldagger because she out here denying she don't eat pussy. Mind you, she got more male testosterone in her than me. And you out here trying to claim that you don't like, I dabble with girls, but I like men. Bitch, ain't no way a man gonna get with a bitch that look like she dressed like the brat. No. Ain't no nigga trying to get with no girl that dressed like the brat. So I don't know why you out here trying to act like that some dude is gonna hook up with a girl that dressed like a cross between the brat and young M.A. It's like, no, you're a full-on lesbian. You need to just live in your truth. Kind of like what Shauna talked about, what she do with her tea. Is living in her tea. We hear these stuff all the time. And the fact of the matter is, trans women just want to be in a relationship with a man who want to love them for them. Not just being like, a lot of you curious ass men be out here want to get with girls with a little something extra because it's exciting. You like that the girls got a little something extra between their legs. And you want to be able to love up on them in secret. You don't want to go out in the street with them because you're afraid that she going to get clocked. And when she get clocked, then they're going to be looking at you being like, oh, you a full-on F word. And that's not the case. There are men who get with a trans woman. Why are you automatically insinuating that the man is gay because he's with a trans woman? That's not how that works. And who gives a fuck what other people think? There's a lot of people in this industry that hook up with women with a little something extra. So I don't know why am I trying to act like this is some new news that men are getting with trans women like this is some brand new thing. A lot of y'all do that shit behind the scenes. A lot of y'all be sliding these girls DMs because y'all curious and y'all want to do some things, but then when y'all tea get out, then y'all want to run for the hills. So if Benzino like trans women, who gives a fuck? That's your business. But you out here trying to perpetuate this shit talking about I'm straight and I will always be that. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Because you're insinuating that means you're gay. Because you're looking at someone who was born male, who transitioned to a female, and because you hear trans, you're thinking all these ignorant things that you've been taught by people instead of just going by getting yourself a little more educated. But that just goes to show that, you know what, in our community, we have way more educating to do when it comes to these type of topics. And it's unfortunate that this is the way, the cookie has to crumble. It's like, and girl, you could do so much better than this man. Like, Benzino been a bum for years. Like, I don't know what people see in that clown. So good luck to you, sis. And then on her situation, her outing him, I know some people look at that, oh, you're clout chasing, or this is why men don't want to get with girls because y'all want to be out here quick to just tell people business, spill people tea, do whatever. And it's like, if she does, I get what they're saying, but I also get how she feels. Because how long can trans women be put in a situation that they have to sit on, oh, I like this guy, we're feeling each other, there's a connection, but I can't do regular, normal things that other people do. I can't go to the movies with this man because people going to say something. I can't go out to a public restaurant and eat because people going to say something. We can't live our lives because people going to say something. Say what now? Ew. Ooh, I just got a shock, bitch. A shock. I'm shocked dead. Before we get to this shock, honey, because I'm gonna tell okay. This is news to me, but you know I like being shocked dead live on air. But before we do, let's get to Gilbert. So let me wrap that up and let me get to the Gilbert Godfrey thing. So I was devastated when I heard the news about Gilbert Godfrey. He was like one of my favorite comedians. I loved his voice. You know, he was my favorite, one of my favorite characters in the Aladdin movie. But his stand-up comedy was hilarious. He was always someone that pushed beyond the line of what you could say to a comedy. He was the first, in my opinion, first comedian to do a 9/11 joke fresh after 9/11 happened. He was like, too soon? Never too soon for, well, you know. I always feel like when we're hurting and pain is going through our lives, laughter is always the best medicine, in my opinion. That's the way I've always looked at it. So I will always fight for those type of comedians who are always willing to push the envelope and who are not afraid to toe the line. So what he had succumbed to was a heart abnormality called recurrent ventricular tachycardia. I hope I said that right. Tachycardia, arrhythmia caused by myotonic dystrophy, type 2. I'll say that 10 times fast. So myotonic dystrophy is a genetic disorder marked by a progressive muscle wasting and weakness which predominantly affects the limbs and face, but can create increasingly dire complications for respiratory, skeletal, and cardiac muscles. I think he's always had that because he always looked like, I always thought that, no shade, but he had a bit of a disability, but the man was funny. So he will be missed. Now, yeah. So shout out to, you know, Gilbert Godfrey. He was like, it's sad. We've lost so many icons in 2022. I'm probably going to do a damn in memoriam all the people who lost, because it's so many amazing comics that and so many amazing celebrities that we lost in 2022. Child, I'm about to be like, throw this whole damn year away. But 2022 hasn't been bad so far, so I can't say that just yet. So I just want to say thank you all for watching. Oh my God, I can't with this phone. I live for it. But I just want to say thank you all for watching, and I will tell you this, because this is the gag, bitch. This is going to be the last on the line until we return with new episodes. And guess what? The Chris Avalon Unfiltered podcast will be on in 2 weeks. So, you know, I've been talking about for the longest, like when we're going to get this podcast up and running. You know, we've been going through some things, a lot of transitioning and stuff been going around. You know, we had All Digital Radio that I've been with for 7 years doing the Chris Avalon show. And then, you know, I had, you know, and then it was also, you know, because EJ produces this show with me. He had Host Chat Live with his partner, DJ. And, you know, they were on there for, I think, like a good 3-4 years doing their political and entertainment news-based podcast. And we were doing some things over there. We were the ones that were mainly holding it down when it comes to the live, you know, the live stuff. We were doing live shows and this, that, and the third. So since then, you know, when Sir Darryl ain't give a fuck about the damn network anymore, and just was just like, whatever, he didn't want to adapt to the times. I'm gonna just call it out what it is. I know a lot of people try to walk on eggshells, but bitch, that's what this whole situation is. So you ain't want to do what need to be done over at that station. So we were just like, and for a while, quiet as it's kept, we was behind the scenes talking about trying to make moves and move on anyway. But because you ain't want to do what need to be done. But you're welcome for the fact that there was some of us over there keeping your network afloat. But nevertheless, with that being said, we were trying. Oh, yes, holla, bitch. But so Saturdays 2 to 4, we'll be back with a brand new show. It's gonna be on. We're gonna be back on the radio. We're gonna be doing podcasts and things. Talking about all the celebrity news and gossip. So it's gonna still be the same format, but it's just gonna be me being a little more unfiltered. I'm gonna be doing the LGBTQ news. I'm gonna be doing the celebrity news and gossip, all the hot topics that we need to be talking about, and a whole lot more. So we're gonna be doing that. And of course, online will be back and all the other stuff. So yes. So I just want to thank you all who have stood by me and have been tuning in and supporting a lot of the projects that I've been doing. and hitting me up behind the scenes talking about how y'all love my shows and all some stuff. So definitely be on the lookout for that. I'm sure it'll be on where all podcasts can be heard. But I'll let you know more information as things progress. So be on the lookout for that. But until next time, I just want to thank you all once again watching this episode of On the Line. This long ass episode of On the Line. So yes, until next time, ciao, darlings. Oh, it's gonna be on Mixer.com weekend lineup. MIXKR.com. How do you say that? Is it Mixler? It's like it's the tongue. I'll get, there it is. It's all there in the background. So yes, definitely gonna look out for that. Job right off that I'm about to hit the rodeo with these colors. Working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. But yes. It's the end of the show. Bye. So I sip this.
This is for faggots.